Okay, number 10, Mandela. What is the Mandela Effect for those of you who don't know? Well, it is essentially a phenomenon where large amounts of people remember an idea or an event wrong. It was coined in 2009 after an article was published by Fiona Broom, who noticed the phenomenon that people seem to remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s, but that's obviously wrong because he died in 2013. Well, I guess not so obvious, since a lot of people swear that it happened. Many people believe that these examples are proof that we could be living in a parallel branch of the universe. After all, if you follow Hugh Everett's many worlds hypothesis, it could be that Mandela was both alive and dead at the same time. Hence the term the Mandela Effect. Number 9, Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes. Sound the same, but it's not. So many people believe that Looney Tunes was actually spelled T-O-O-N-S, but the reality is that it's actually tunes, like iTunes. Doesn't seem like that big of a difference, but why would it be tunes? Why would it be tunes? The show isn't about music, though musical numbers do occasionally happen, but it's not about music. The reason it's tunes, not tunes, lies way back in the 1920s. Disney was making bank on a series called Silly Symphonies that encouraged people to buy sheet music. They didn't have television, so entertaining themselves at the piano was a common thing to do. To keep the bankroll rolling, Disney came out with 2 new programs, Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes. The more you know. Number 8, Oscar Mayer versus Mayer. It's actually Oscar Mayer, not Meyer. It's actually spelled M-A-Y-E-R, not M-E-Y-E-R. Confused? It's okay, it's not your fault. There's actually an explanation as to why so many people think the spelling is the latter. In the famous Oscar Mayer Wiener song, see Oscar, I can't help but say it, Oscar Mayer Wiener song, the singers say Oscar Mayer, which doesn't spell out Meyer in our heads. So like, we know Mayer is supposed to be pronounced Mayer. Just look at John Mayer, that's how he spells his last name, and it would be weird to call him John Mayer, right? Try singing the song in your head right now, or out loud, do you? And try saying Mayer instead of Meyer. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Number 7, We Are the Champions. So I actually listened to the song when I found this out, which was today. It's true. And the karaoke lover inside me feels betrayed. I distinctly remember the ending of the song, Freddie Mercury belting out "of the world," but he doesn't do it. But every time I catch myself singing, like waiting to join him in that final triumphant "of the world" at the end of the song, but it never happens, and now I know why. Because he never did it. Freddie actually only ever ended the song that way once, when he performed at Wembley Stadium. The performance was so iconic that we remember it that way. Number 6, Henry VIII and his turkey leg. I remember going to medieval fairs, medieval times as a kid, it was my jam. And carts always sold massive, like I don't even know how they got a bird that big, massive turkey legs. A famous portrait of Henry VIII shows him with a turkey leg, but that's not actually the case. But historians swear they saw it and swear that it existed. He's actually holding a pair of leather gloves in his hand. Perhaps because of his heavy-set depiction and malicious behavior in life, many people wanted to find a reason to make fun of the king, so you'll often see cartoon drawings of the king often paired with a turkey leg in his hand. Another reason people paired this image with Henry is due to another painting of him in Anne Boleyn. In it, he is holding a mirror which somewhat appears to be a turkey leg. Number 5, guys, this one's weird. I never noticed it. Obviously, they wouldn't be on this list if I knew it before, right? I guess so. Anyways, C-3PO, the golden droid of the franchise, wasn't actually all that golden. Apparently, he has a silver leg. Maybe it was the lighting in each shot, but I seriously don't know. I don't know how I could have overlooked this. I've watched 4, 5, and 6 specifically because 6 is my favorite because it's obviously the best. I've watched them so many times and I never noticed it, not once. But I'm comforted. I don't even think I can call myself a Star Wars fan anymore. It's just, I feel so lied to. But I'm comforted by the fact that I'm not the only one. To be fair, there's so much going on in the film, I never thought to look at his leg and be like, oh, look at his leg. But apparently this discrepancy is due to the fact that when manufacturers released the toy of C-3PO, they didn't add the silver leg, leading most of us to believe he was entirely gold. Number 4, the Berenstain Bears. Everyone remembers the Berenstain Bears on TV in the morning or after school. For me, there was nothing better than grabbing a glass of OJ, sitting down with some cereal, seeing what those bears would get up to next. Before you get worried, yes, they actually existed. But, of course there's a but. It's Berenstain Bears. Stain, not Stein. I swear to God, they changed it and just didn't tell anyone. There's no way. The reason we might remember it that way is probably because of how we say it. No one says, oh, the Berenstain Bears. Nobody says it like that. Somehow we got into the habit of saying it that way and we put the pieces together in our head. Funny little world. Funny little world. Alright, number 3. Curious George. Had to be one of my absolute favorite stories as a kid. I just loved getting to hear all about that mischief the monkey was gonna get into. Curious George is a monkey after all, and most monkeys have tails. Something the illustrator left out when he created George. He gave a man a big yellow hat, but he didn't give George a tail. Again, I asked the MA team, and we were pretty well divided. Some people knew he didn't have one right away, which kind of goes to show how big of a fan they were. Me? I'm still struggling to picture George hanging from a tree using his legs and not his tail. Doesn't make sense in my head. Anyways, number 2, the Monopoly Man. This one caused a fair amount of discourse between the MA gang. I don't know how this happened. I can't unsee it in my brain. I actually hate Monopoly because it just never ends. I need there to be an ending so then I can leave and escape and run away. Cause like, if the game goes on too long, I want to die. My nightmare was once playing a 2-hour game of Monopoly. That little monocled man laughing at me when I was sent to jail. Except for the fact he didn't have a monocle. He has 20/20 vision. How the heck? How did I remember that wrong? Apparently, the reason could be that he looked very similar to the Peanut Man? I don't know. What do you think, guys? Number 1, this is for all the 90s babies, or 80s babies, whatever works. Shazam! I think I had to take a knee for a minute after this one. It just doesn't make sense. Do you guys remember the comedian Sinbad playing a genie in a movie called Shazam? 2 kids accidentally summoned a genie and Sinbad played the genie who tried to make their dad fall in love again. Like, I can see it. I can see it in my head. Sinbad with his like purple shirt and turban and stuff, and he's hilarious and he was charming and snarky, but it doesn't exist. There are pictures, but no one knows where it's from. And I looked on his IMDb and there's no movie where he played a genie, but there's pictures of him playing a genie and I just don't get it. There was a movie called Kazam with a similar premise, but played by Shaquille O'Neal, which I also remember. I definitely watched that movie too. If Shazam doesn't exist, where did this picture come from? I don't know. Which I also remember, but it was a different movie than Shazam. Where did it go? Where did it go? Or did it exist at all? Who knows?
Starting off at number 10 now, we have Luke, I am your father. It's probably the most iconic line in Star Wars, or even in all movies. As Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are battling it out, Darth Vader drops the plot twist that he is Luke's father, but he never actually said Luke.
It's not true. That's impossible.
He said, no, I am your father. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't going to believe me, so this is the unedited clip from the actual movie.
He told me you killed him. No, I am your father.
Alright, moving on to number 9 now, we have Uncle Pennybags. You guys know the board game Monopoly, right? I want you to try and picture now what the Monopoly man looks like. Is he wearing a monocle? Well, that's only in your imagination, because Uncle Pennybags has never worn a monocle. Now, when I first heard this one, I had to go and personally check my own copy of Monopoly, and I still can't quite believe it. Alright, at number 8 now, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I'm sure we all know this famous line from Snow White. The Queen turns to her magic mirror and says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Nope. She didn't. She never said that in the movie. She actually said, magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? I don't know where we got that other line from, but I'm a little creeped out. Moving on to number 7 now, we have Jiffy. Even if you guys don't like peanut butter, I'm pretty sure you've all heard of Jiffy peanut butter, right? Probably one of the most famous brands on the planet, except it's never existed. You're probably thinking of Jif. For some reason, a lot of people swear blind that it's called Jiffy. Even the people who put Jif peanut butter on their toast every morning will tend to call it Jiffy. If you're one of those people, I'm sorry to shatter your peanut butter world like this. Alright, at the number 6 spot now, we have Tinkerbell. This one creeped me out. If any of you guys are around my age or older, I'm sure you will remember a Disney intro that featured Tinkerbell. You know, the one where she flew across the screen before the movie started and dotted the eye with her wand before sending an explosion of sparkles tumbling down over the Disney castle. You remember? I remember. Well, apparently history doesn't remember, because nobody can seem to find a single example of this actually happening. Ever. And this one isn't just a few people remembering this, it's millions, and it always seems to be the exact same details. I'd love for someone to explain this one to me, because I'm a little bit concerned that we're all going mad. Coming in at number 5 now, we have We Are the Champions. I'm sure many of you guys will have heard We Are the Champions by Queen. It's played every time anyone wins anything, and we all like to have a good sing-along with it. You know the ending of it, right? We are the champions, we are the champions, no time for losers, because we are the champions. And that's where it ends. There is no of the world like people usually sing. I did not believe this one, but if you go and listen to the actual song, it's true. It does appear earlier on in the song, so maybe that's where people are getting confused. Alright, next up at number 4 now we have Kit Kat. Classic chocolate bar, isn't it? Now, I want you guys to write Kit Kat in your head. Was there a dash between the two words? That's how I picture a Kit Kat bar too, with a little dash in between the kit and the cat. But we invented that, apparently. There has never been a dash between the two words. Some people think they imagined the dash because other phrases have it. Other people say that's wrong and they swear blind that their favourite chocolate bar's name has somehow changed over the years. Coming out at number 3 now, we have Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is one of the most famous paintings of all time. Millions of people recognize it, so you'd think that somebody would notice if it changed. A lot of people claim that years ago Mona Lisa used to look kind of glum with just a little flicker of a smirk on her lips. Nowadays they say she has changed. Now she's just straight up smiling. Some scientists say this is an optical illusion based on what angle you view the painting from, but others are adamant that a smile has just crept in over the years. Okay, next up at number 2 now we have King Henry VIII. This is King Henry VIII, the fat king of England, who famously married, divorced and beheaded a number of his wives. He's also famous for that portrait of him standing with one leg up on a stool and eating a turkey leg. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about, except you guessed it, it's never existed. You can see many modern examples of this picture based on a portrait that has simply never existed. And finally at number 1 now we have Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks' award-winning role as Forrest Gump is a movie full of memorable scenes and quotes, but if you've seen it, you'll know that one line is the most famous of them all. Life is like a box of chocolates, you never know which one you're gonna get. Well, the actual line is life was like a box of chocolates, past tense. For some reason, everyone, myself included, remembers it as life is like a box of chocolates. I can even hear him saying it in my head. Even Google suggests life is, not life was, when you're looking up this quote. Maybe Google has also been fooled by the Mandela Effect. Starting off at number 10 now we have Chick-fil-A. I've intentionally got our editor to blur this out while you guys think about the spelling of this famous fast food company. I'm sure many of you have eaten there before. How is the chick part spelled? C-H-I-C? C-H-I-K? It's got like a weird spelling, hasn't it? Nope. It's this. It's just the normal spelling of the word chick. Yeah, this one even got me. Somehow, millions of people around the world seem to remember the name of this company being spelt a different way, usually with the word chick just ending in a single C or K. The company has been around since 1946 though, which leaves just one explanation: living in a parallel universe where everything is exactly the same, except Chick-fil-A has an extra letter in its name. Thank God we spotted that. Next up at number 9 now we have Interview with the Vampire. Okay, so there are a few on this list that I have never experienced or even heard of. This isn't one of them. This is a Mandela Effect example that really stumped me the first time I heard about it. Interview with the Vampire is a 1994 movie starring Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Now I'll be honest, I've never actually seen the movie, but up until very recently I would have sworn that it was called Interview with a Vampire, not the Vampire, a vampire. I had heard people talk about it all the time. I had a friend who absolutely loved it, but somehow I had been hearing the wrong thing all these years. It wasn't just me though, many people feel the same. This is such a common mistake that the top search result on Google for this movie is actually the incorrect version. My version. And I'm sticking to my version. Thank you. Next on number 8 now we have JFK. Normally when I talk about President John F. Kennedy, it's some sort of conspiracy theory about his death. Not today though. Today we're just going to count the number of people in the car when JFK was shot in that famous footage. Most people, myself included, think there were 4. I wasn't around in 1963. I'm just referring to the footage that I've seen, but I remember there being 4 people, 2 in the front and then JFK and Jackie Kennedy in the back. Well, for one of the most watched pieces of footage of all time, it seems we weren't paying attention, as there were in fact 6 people in the car. If you were one of the people who thought this, you can be forgiven though, as the camera angle often makes it difficult to see properly. And moving on to number 7 now, we have Curious George. Who remembers the adventures of Curious George? From 2006 to 2015, this monkey entertained kids all over the world in his TV series, a show which was adapted by books of the same name. Do you remember his tail? His little monkey tail? Well, if you do, your memory deceives you. Ever since Curious George first appeared in children's books in 1939, 1989, he has been without a tail. I'm pretty sure some of you have now paused the video by this point to go and prove me wrong, but yeah, no tail, sorry. It's understandable though. If there's one iconic thing about a monkey, it's his tail. So well done to George for being iconic without one. Moving on to number 6 now, we have Barbie Girl. I'm a Barbie girl in what? What's the next line there? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world? Is that what you were gonna say? Well, that's wrong. It's never. That's right, she sings I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Not our world, the Barbie world. It's like a separate dimension, a parallel universe if you will. Perhaps this very song is a reason why the Mandela Effect. Now we have Hannibal Lecter. Since its release in February 1991, The Silence of the Lambs has become one of the most famous movies of all time. Not just within the sort of horror thriller genre, but across all genres and eras. Anthony Hopkins plays the part of Hannibal Lecter, a former psychiatrist and incarcerated cannibalistic serial killer. The scene where he is first introduced to Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster, has become iconic in its own right. If any of you have seen it, I'm going to ask you, what does Hannibal first say to Clarice? Oh wait, okay, waiting's over. If you think he said, hello Clarice, well I'm afraid to say you're wrong. He never said anything of the sort. Let's finish by taking a look at what actually went down.
Good morning.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling. May I speak with you?
You're one of Jack Crawford's, aren't you?
Moving on to number 4 now, we have Mr. Rogers. For over 30 years, Mr. Rogers entertained and taught children how to live and love in his TV series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Millions of young Americans grew up watching it. In recent years, it's become even more famous internationally. With all these people watching it, you would think that everyone would get the theme song, right? Right? Well, apparently not. The opening song was an iconic part of the whole show. Let's hear a little bit now. But now we get to the interesting part. This is the part everyone seems to get wrong. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people think that Mr. Rogers sings It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. But instead he sings this.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor.
Right there, he sings It's a Beautiful Day in this neighborhood. Not the neighborhood, not your neighborhood, not my neighborhood, just his neighborhood. Kind of takes the magic out of it when I break it down like that. Let's move on. Next up at number 3 now, we have the Bernstein Bears. This is a franchise that has had books since the 1960s and TV adaptations ever since. It follows the life of a family of bears and each episode has a lesson to teach. It was popular in North America, so if you didn't grow up there, like me, there's a chance you've never heard of it at all. Well, since the Mandela Effect became a thing, many people all over the world have now heard of it. Essentially, lots of people thought the series was called the Bernstein Bears. It's not Bernstein, it's Bernstein. That may seem like a simple mistake, but people swear that it was never Bernstein. They specifically remember the TV show calling it Bernstein. They remember the books having Bernstein on the front. They are 100% sure, but when they go and check, they're wrong. And it's pretty freaky for some people. Some people have even produced products with Bernstein written on them. They have often been dismissed as knockoffs or just replicas, or maybe they fell through a portal from another universe, or that. Next up at number 2 now, we have Sex and the City. This was a romantic comedy TV series set in New York that ran from 1998 until 2004. It was huge. There were even 2 spin-off movies afterwards. The thing is though, most people remember it as Sex in the City, but it never was. It has officially always been Sex and the City. Emphasis on the and, not is. If you're watching this and thinking that I must have got it wrong, well, you're not alone. Many people have made this mistake, including journalists. Countless reviews and articles have been written about the show that refer to it by this wrong name. And finally, number 1 now, we have Sally Fields. This is a lesser known one that might interest some of you more serious Mandela Effect researchers. In 1985, Sally Fields won her Oscar for Best Actress in Places in the Heart. She gave a very memorable and rousing speech. Let's take a little look at that right here.
This means so much more to me this time. I don't know why. I think the first time I hardly felt it because it was all so new.
After that, whenever someone wanted to talk about that speech, they would quote the last thing that Sally said when thanking everyone. She said, "You like me, you really like me." But did she? Let's take a listen.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
She didn't say, "You like me, you really like me." She actually said, "You like me, right now you like me." Many people say they remember watching this speech and that something must have changed because they remember it differently, the first one. There are even some people who claim that the audio glitch we hear when she says it is some sort of sign that it's been tampered with or passed through from a parallel universe.
That you like me. Right now, you like me.
Personally, I think it's just a case of bad memory with people and maybe audio levels peaking.